I remember the exact moment when I realized my ambition had gotten the better of me. Years ago, I was consumed by the desire to launch a new rocket faster and cheaper than anyone else in history. Threw myself into solving engineering problems, managing investor relations, and coordinating an ever-growing team all at breakneck speed. Failure wasn't even a consideration. Believed we could outpace obstacles through sheer intensity, but the universe had other plans. During a key test flight, right before what we hoped would be a flawless demonstration, veered off course and exploded midair. In that instant, I experienced a profound shock of disappointment, a blow not only to my professional dreams, but also to my sense of self. It wasn't just that the rocket disintegrated, it felt like my confidence and my identity had shattered right alongside it. The weight of that failure was enormous. My team and I had poured countless hours of preparation and hope into that endeavor, and now lay scattered across the launch site as burning fragments and smoldering disappointment. In the aftermath, I found myself asking a painful question: did my ambition blind me to essential SAF goals, overshadow crucial details, and rush decisions that should have been handled with more care? In the days and weeks that followed, I fell into a spiral of self-doubt. I questioned whether I'd sacrificed too much in pursuit of a grand vision. I thought about the tense relationships around me, the sleepless nights, and the fleeting nature of any joy I might have felt along the way. My days had been filled with ceaseless forward motion, but I hadn't paused to appreciate my progress or my partners in this remarkable journey. Instead, I'd pushed, demanded, and insisted on achieving the next milestone at all costs. That massive rocket failure became, in a sense, a reflection of my own inner turmoil. Just like the lost spacecraft, I thought I had exploded, sending shards of frustration and exhaustion in every direction. Though the public narrative centered on the loss of the rocket, I knew the deeper damage was more personal, in the imbalance between my relentless ambition and my near complete neglect of gratitude for what we had already achieved. The demands of that pursuit had left me unmoored, and I wonder if we could ever salvage the program, let alone my own sense of purpose. What came next was an unexpected shift, catalyzed not by a sudden infusion of funding or a miraculous piece of technology, but by a simple realization. I was standing at the wreckage reviewing data with some of the brightest engineers in the world. One of them, a quiet and dedicated teammate, thanked me for giving her the chance to work on cutting-edge innovation. Her appreciation for the opportunity, despite our collective setback, opened my eyes.
Right.
Then I saw the power of gratitude for the first time in a long while. I understood that no matter how large our failures, we could find contentment in the lessons and in the relationships that formed along the way. It wasn't about diminishing our ambition. It was about fortifying it with a sense of balance and perspective. I see all of you here today. Get you down, and I know that each person in this room has tasted both the thrill of big dreams and the heartbreak of things going sideways. We've all felt the urgent pull to achieve more. We've all had moments where the stress and the sacrifices overshadow any sense of appreciation. We gather in an era of unprecedented potential, with technology bridging gaps, ideas traveling faster than ever, entire industries ripe for radical innovation. Yet amid this excitement, it's easy to forget the present moment and the essential truths that anchor us. We might lose sight of relationships, the small victories, the incremental steps that get us closer to our most ambitious visions. I want you to know that you're not alone in that struggle. Together, we represent a powerful force for the future. We also share the human quest to find fulfillment in what we do. So today, I propose a new way forward, a path where we embrace the highest levels of ambition without letting gratitude become an afterthought. This path isn't about diminishing your dreams or settling for less. It's about strengthening your vision through a balanced outlook where every step forward is celebrated, where each setback becomes a teacher, where you savor the journey as much as the destination. My hope is that by weaving together ambition and contentment, we will not only build groundbreaking companies and transformative technologies, also deepen our personal well-being, strengthen our teams, and cultivate the resilience that fuels sustainable success. This is how we push boundaries, not by running ourselves ragged, by standing firmly on the foundation of appreciation for what we've accomplished so far. Let's delve into this together. In the minutes ahead, we'll explore why this delicate balance matters, cultivated in our organizations, and what practical steps we take to ensure that our determination to disrupt the status quo does not disrupt our inner peace. We'll look at real stories, engage in fresh perspectives, and outline actionable insights. By the end of our time together, I want each of you to walk away with a stronger resolve to strive for more, tempered by the invaluable practice of gratitude. Now let's begin our shared exploration of balancing ambition with contentment. The first area to consider in our journey toward achieving a sustainable mindset is rooted in the art of discovery. We set out with grand objectives, but how do we find the harmony between pushing our limits and savoring each achievement? But personally, I would start by asking ourselves one guiding question. Are we truly aware of what we already have, Even as we set our sights on a new horizon, the question which might appear simple on the surface can unlock the deeper understanding of how our drive coexists with our capacity for appreciation. Too often, we become so consumed with the end goal that we overlook the resources, support, and joys in our current experience. These overlooked elements might include the loyal customers who believe in our product, colleagues who've stood by our side, or the mentors who have provided invaluable insights. When we fail to recognize these treasures, we lose not only the chance to gratitude, but also the perspective that inform decisions. I recall one prominent case that illuminated this principle in the technology realm. A young startup had a groundbreaking concept for a medical device that would drastically improve patient outcomes. Their ambition was enormous to disrupt traditional healthcare protocols worldwide. They secured venture capital at an impressive clip, attracting high-profile investors eager to back the next big thing. Yet in their rush to scale, forgot to systematically integrate feedback from the initial batch of pilot hospitals. While they focused on capturing more market share, they neglected the essential voices telling them how the product functioned on a day-to-day basis. Ultimately, device performance issues surfaced that set the project back by a year. Financial burn soared, frustration mounted among investors, and morale plummeted among team members who felt unheard. It was a prime example of overshadowing the fun and gratitude owed to early adopters who were willing to help shape and refine technology. Instead of leveraging that invaluable partnership, the startup roared ahead, only to stumble under the weight of their oversight. We can analyze this scenario at a deeper level and see a pattern that recurs in business and in life. When you're so focused on the macro vision, become numb to the signals around you. These signals might be telling you that your product needs a modification, that your employees crave direction and appreciation, or that market trends are shifting under your feet. Ignoring these cues, the entire operation risks collapse, not necessarily from lack of resources, but from mismanagement of priorities. Ambition takes us forward. It's attentiveness and gratitude that keep us anchored to reality. Failing to incorporate those elements leads to disconnection, stagnation, or a sudden crash that leaves everyone reeling. Practically speaking, integrating a balanced mindset involves deliberate measures. It might mean instituting regular check-ins with those directly affected by our products or initiatives. It might involve allocating time in meetings specifically to acknowledge recent wins, large or small, and to thank the individuals who contributed. Leaders might incorporate feedback in loops where employees, customers, stakeholders are encouraged to share their insights on improvements. Gratitude becomes a standard operational component. Just like budgeting or timeline planning, it informs better decision making and builds a sturdy foundation of collective goodwill. More importantly, reminds everyone involved why they embarked on this journey in this place, reinforcing motivation that is both aspirational and appreciative. A breakthrough often comes when we realize that gratitude doesn't weaken ambition but magnifies it. When I reflect on personal experiences, I remember how an undercurrent of gratitude sustained my drive for innovation. It becomes a kind of reciprocal cycle. Acknowledging what you have accomplished fortifies your belief that you can go further, and that reinforced belief powers you through challenges. Entrepreneur and author Gary Vaynerchuk once said in a powerful statement, "Gratitude is a rocket fuel that propels ambition with empathy and perspective." That quote captures the essence perfectly. Gratitude is woven into ambition. It doesn't slow you down. It boosts your momentum and endears you to those who want to help you along the way. In the final analysis, discovering the synergy between pushing forward and feeling thankful for every step can be the difference between a relentless climb and a rewarding voyage. If we can truly see and appreciate our current blessings, even while we strive for more, we stand a far better chance of building sustainable success. Allow me to share another angle. Through storytelling, reveals how the interplay of ambition and contentment can manifest in unexpected ways. Several years ago, an acquaintance founded a software company aimed at revolutionizing the logistics industry. He had a brilliant insight in how data analytics could speed up deliveries, reduce costs, and minimize environmental impact. The first story hook came when he was just a child, watching his family's small transportation business struggle with inefficiencies, late deliveries, and lost shipments. That youthful experience left an indelible mark, desire to fix the logistical nightmares he had witnessed. He dreamed of a platform that would enable real-time tracking, predictive analysis, and seamless communication across every node in the supply chain. Investors quickly saw the potential, and momentum built rapidly. The excitement soared, employees were brought on board at a rapid pace, office space expanded, and the founder was hailed in media profiles as a visionary. This visionary situation developed into a labyrinth of complexities. As the user base grew, the system encountered unforeseen challenges, server overloads, inaccurate data interpretation, and slow uptake from some traditional carriers. To fight these bumps, founder pressed on by a near-obsessed pursuit of the next big release, the next funding round, and the next leap in valuation. He worked around the clock and expected everyone on his team to match his fervor. Morale began to suffer as burnout crept in, like cracks in a building's foundation. These issues spread through the organization. The founder's intense focus on acceleration overshadowed the moments to pause and acknowledge what had already been achieved: a robust client base, a supportive network of believers, and a product that was already changing how the industry operated. Eventually, the challenges and solutions collided. The biggest crisis emerged when a major update went live and triggered a system-wide crash for thousands of users. Instead of seizing the chance to reflect, reset, and bolster the infrastructure, the founder pushed the team to patch the software overnight and proceed with a highly publicized next phase. This only compounded errors. From these repeated crashes came a turning point. A senior engineer who deeply cared about the project's long-term viability approached the founder privately and laid out a plan for stabilizing the platform. The plan required all new feature development for at least 6 weeks, dedicating resources to architect core code and meticulously testing under different load conditions. The founder, exhausted and disheartened, initially resisted, but then realized he couldn't running at a breakneck pace without acknowledging the need for solidity beneath each new step. The solution, therefore, was to find a balance between yearning for the future and taking stock of the current state. By implementing the engineer's plan, the company significantly improved reliability, regained user trust, even uncovered new efficiencies. These lessons transcended the purely technical. The founder came to see that every dream must be supported by a stable bedrock. And that bedrock is maintained by pausing to appreciate what has already been built, whether it's user loyalty, team loyalty, or the foundational architecture itself. The near collapse of the system forced him to learn the importance of gratitude, acknowledging employees' tireless work, celebrating incremental milestones, and understanding that sometimes slowing down is the only way to genuinely speed up. As for lessons learned, that founder spoke publicly about how his personal journey evolved. He moved from an always unsatisfied mindset to one that balanced hunger for progress with respect for the present. Instead of constant self-criticism about what wasn't yet accomplished, he began to take pride in the achievements that had brought the company this far. He also made a point to reckon employees in team meetings, celebrating small wins alongside major breakthroughs. The shift rekindled enthusiasm within the company as people felt seen and valued. Underlying that transformation was a core realization: a grateful leader fosters a devoted team, and a devoted team can accomplish extraordinary feats. I see parallels between his story and many of ours. We become so enthralled by the magnitude of our ideas that we neglect the delicate balance between aspiration and appreciation. Often, it's only when a breakdown or crisis forces us to look inward that we grasp how essential it is to cultivate gratitude at every stage. For the audience here, I'd say this personal narrative holds a mirror up to our collective experiences. We all have big dreams, whether it's launching a startup, building new technology, writing a book, or making a social impact. Yet, if we lose ourselves in the race toward the horizon, forgetting the ground beneath us, the race becomes unsustainable. When I reflect on these points, I'm reminded of a saying by Oprah Winfrey: the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. This line, with fewer than 20 words, conveys a universal truth where gratitude spans possibilities rather than shrinking them. It's a timely reminder that we can remain ambitious and still find contentment in each rung we climb on the ladder of success. Such a synergy isn't accidental. It's an intentional practice built through recognition of both our drive and our blessings. By weaving the founder's story in our own journeys, we see that ambition and gratitude need not stand on opposite ends of the spectrum. Instead, they can co-create a culture of relentless yet joyful progress. Now let's shift into a more analytical approach, examining statistical data, market trends, and in-depth research on how balancing ambition and contentment can significantly impact professional and personal outcomes. A remarkable piece of research conducted by a leading global analytics firm found that organizations that actively foster gratitude in their culture see a 20% increase in overall productivity. These findings are rooted in more than mere sentiment. They illustrate how a sense of being valued triggers employee engagement and reduces absenteeism. Another study from a prominent university surveyed high-achieving professionals in competitive fields. Those who practice regular reflection on their accomplishments, even in small ways, reported lower stress indicators, higher morale, and a stronger commitment to their long-term goals. Delving deeper into market trends, we see that startups in aggressive growth phases can burn through capital quickly, often leading to layoffs, pivoting, complete shutdowns if immediate results aren't achieved. This growth at all costs mentality has given rise to short-lived successes that make a splash before fizzling out. By contrast, companies that pace their ambition measured evaluations and expressions of gratitude to their stakeholders, employees, investors, and customers tend to maintain steadier growth trajectories. The global shift toward conscious capitalism, where social and emotional values weigh into strategic decisions, further highlights the importance of not just chasing profit, but also nurturing a positive internal environment. Watch and observe that businesses perceive to treat employees and customers ethically fare better in times of economic turbulence. This aligns with the notion that gratitude fosters loyalty, which in turn stabilizes the organization even when external conditions fluctuate. In-depth research backs these trends. Scholars in organizational psychology have produced frameworks that link employee well-being with the presence of gratitude-based practices such as recognition programs, open dialogues about achievements, and leadership modeling of appreciation. Experimental studies show that employees who feel recognized and valued are more likely to demonstrate creative problem solving and exhibit resilience. The theoretical explanation is that gratitude reduces the threat of negative self-assessment, freeing cognitive resources for innovation. In personal development circles, similar findings suggest that individuals who keep gratitude journals or reflect on progress are more likely to sustain motivation, avoid burnout, and adapt when encountering setbacks. All this underscores the interplay between an inner state of contentment and an outer pursuit of excellence. Ambition, stripped of gratitude, can be a raw, frantic drive that drains mental and emotional reservoirs. Gratitude, in self-awareness, replenishes those reservoirs and leads to a more sustainable form of motivation. At the practical application level, these insights translate into actionable strategies for individuals and organizations. For instance, leaders can incorporate brief gratitude moments into weekly updates, celebrating achievements and naming the contributors responsible. Performance reviews can shift from being solely deficit-oriented to also highlighting accomplishments and the learning gained from mistakes. Goals can be broken into more manageable milestones, each celebrating force collective and individual momentum. On the personal front, an entrepreneur can maintain a simple practice that of each day list 3 things that went well, or 3 people who provided support. These consistent acts of acknowledgement shape mindset and relationships, creating an environment in which ambition thrives alongside a sense of stability and thankfulness. Looking at the future, trend of integrating well-being metrics in corporate evaluations is likely to accelerate. More investors are paying attention to the organizational health and culture of the companies they back, recognizing that a toxic or relentlessly demanding environment is a liability. Technological solutions may emerge to automate recognition processes, sending personalized notes or achievements to employees, although genuine human touch will remain irreplaceable. As global collaborations expand, cross-cultural appreciation and shared values become more critical for cohesive teamwork. In the horizon of the next decade, the capacity to balance ambition with contentment could very well distinguish the startups and teams that endure from those that burn out. Ambition alone propels us forward. Gratitude ensures we have fuel to keep going when the path gets rough. The next perspective invites an interactive approach, encouraging thought exercises, discussions, and shared experiences that bring the balance of ambition and contentment to life. Take a moment to vision your most ambitious goal, something that sparks an incredible surge of motivation when you think about achieving it. Now, ask yourself, how does it feel to consider all the people, resources, and previous successes that have led you to even conceptualize such a big ambition? Let your mind replay a highlight reel of supportive mentors. Past achievements, moments of breakthrough, and even the small detail often overlooked, like that friend who listened to your early prototypes, or the teacher who believed in you at a pivotal juncture. This mental exercise isn't to reduce the grandeur of your objective, but to anchor it in reality. Notice how a sense of calm and renewed focus accompanies the feeling of gratitude. This combination of excitement for the future and contentment with the present can be a powerful psychological asset. If we were gathered in person, I'd invite everyone to break into small groups for a deeper conversation. The topic would share one instance where your drive to excel overshadowed your ability to appreciate the moment. How did that feel? And what do you wish you had done differently? By articulating these experiences openly, we recognize a shared vulnerability. We see that regardless of our different backgrounds, positions, or industries, we all carry an internal engine driving us toward bigger, bolder accomplishments. Yet we're also susceptible to overlooking the everyday gifts and lessons that hold our journeys together. In group settings, such candid dialogues often spur collective wisdom. Participants realize that no one climbs to success alone, and that gratitude can be a unifying theme even when ambitions vary widely. Another layer of experience sharing might involve inviting you to recall a significant project completed in the past. Perhaps it was launching a product, opening a branch office, finishing a specialized degree. Think about the milestones you reached and the hurdles you overcame. Now, imagine how you would have experienced the journey if you had deliberately practiced gratitude at each phase. I mean, writing down a quick note of thanks to the collaborator who stayed late to help with a tight deadline, or pausing to acknowledge your own perseverance during especially tough weeks. Let your mind wander through that alternate reality. Did you feel more energized, more connected to your peers? Did the challenges become more manageable because you recognize them as part of a collective quest rather than a lonely grind? These mental exercises often highlight that far from being a distraction, gratitude infuses the process with deeper meaning. Practice of this mindset shift might look like a short daily ritual. Each morning before plunging into the day's to-do list, identify one area where your ambition is intensifying. It could be a project about to launch, an upcoming pitch to investors, or a personal fitness goal. Then match that ambition with a tangible element of appreciation. It might be gratitude, the technology that allows you to work remotely, the supportive colleague who has your back, or the fact that you have the health and energy to chase your dreams. Some people find it helpful to literally speak it out loud or write it down. By consistently pairing ambition with gratitude in a tangible act, you retrain your neural pathways, making it more natural to operate from a place of balanced drive rather than ceaseless strain. The learning summary from these interactive engagements is that our minds and relationships flourish under a dual approach. Keep our eyes on the horizon of possibility while staying grounded in the now. Through thought exercises, discussions, and shared experiences, we become aware of how easily we lose ourselves in the future, the myriad blessings that have brought us this far. Yet in reclaiming gratitude as a central practice, we don't let go of ambition. Instead, we find a wellspring of emotional resilience. It's a subtle shift in perspective that redefines success from being purely about conquest to being about sustainable growth and meaningful achievement. Let me leave you with a single, succinct quote that captures the essence of interactive discovery. Steve Jobs once remarked, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." While this quote often refers to pursuing one's passion, also implies savoring each moment of your own journey. Limited time indeed, so pairing ambition with a genuine acknowledgement of every step you take ensures that you're not rushing blindly. You're living fully by aspiration, but enriched by gratitude in equal measure. Having explored discovery, storytelling, analysis, and interactive approaches, let's move to a problem-solving focus. The core challenge here is identifying what stands in the way of integrating ambition and contentment. For many, it's a fear that slowing down to appreciate will erode their competitive edge. Those might attribute any reflection or celebration to weakness, believing that only constant dissatisfaction fuels innovation. Yet the real question is, how do we address the root causes that keep us from embracing gratitude while chasing excellence? First, we look at the challenge of urgent timelines. In high-growth environments, everything screams for immediate action. Roadmaps and expectations and a relentless news cycle create the sense that we have no time to pause. Next, there's the challenge of ego. When pride is tied solely to external achievements, it's easy to conflate gratitude with complacency. The deeper root cause is often a belief that we must be in motion to be worthwhile. Another layer is societal conditioning from an early age. Many of us are taught to strive continuously, glorifying hustle as the pinnacle of productivity. These ingrained patterns make it difficult to even consider that contentment might be a valuable ally. Solution proposals emerge when we realize that reflection doesn't equate to stalling, that gratitude doesn't undermine ambition. In fact, one practical approach is to set micro-reflection checkpoints alongside standard deadlines. For instance, rather than racing from one deliverable to the next, schedule brief intervals, maybe 5 minutes at the close of each day or 15 minutes at the end of each week to articulate wins and express thanks. Another solution is to incorporate recognition into milestone celebrations. When a big feature is completed or a funding milestone is reached, dedicate a short segment of the celebration explicitly to thanking those who played a role. This transforms what might otherwise be a superficial party into a meaningful communal moment, reinforcing the cycle of gratitude and ambition. Next, we build an action plan. It can start with leaders modeling the behavior. If employees observe their CEO or manager taking a moment to appreciate the design team for an innovative mock-up, it sends a strong signal that gratitude is valued. The plan might extend to structural processes like retrospective sessions after each major project phase. Rather than only focusing on what went wrong and what to fix, highlight what went right and who contributed. Over time, these processes become a cultural norm. On a personal level, every ambitious individual can create a gratitude ledger to document daily or weekly acknowledgments. This ledger evolves into a historical record of success and collaboration, fueling motivation during tough periods. Success metrics in this domain revolve around both quantitative and qualitative indicators. Reduced burnout rates, higher employee retention, and stronger project completion statistics speak to the health of ambition balanced with well-being. Qualitative feedback from employees and stakeholders can paint a picture of increased morale and a shared sense of purpose. If a company or individual regularly hits ambitious targets while maintaining a sense of camaraderie, positivity, and lower stress levels, then that's a strong sign the problem of imbalance has been effectively addressed. I'm reminded of a concise insight from John Wooden, the legendary basketball coach. It's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. That line, just under 20 words, captures the core of problem solving in this area. Gratitude might seem like a small detail. is a subtle force that, when consistently applied, transforms large-scale ambitions into realities that are not only achieved but also enjoyed. By systematically integrating these little details, moments of thanks, ignition, and reflection into the broader structure of our work and life, we create an environment where ambition isn't pitted against contentment, but is instead amplified by it. As we near the final stretch of this journey together, let's envision what the future could look like if we collectively adopt this balanced approach. We are on a trajectory where technology evolves faster than ever. Global markets interconnect, and challenges such as climate change demand urgent innovation. In the coming years, entrepreneurs, scientists, policymakers, everyday citizens will need to collaborate on a scale that surpasses anything we've seen before. Now imagine approaching monumental tasks with an undiminished thirst for breakthrough, but also the sense of grounded gratitude. We'd see teams innovating not out of sheer desperation or fear, but from a place of shared purpose, energized by the progress they've already made and driven by a desire to contribute further. That vision calls us to action. We can't simply note the idea of balancing ambition and contentment. We must implement it in practical, measurable ways. Leaders can champion cultural changes. Educators can instill these principles early on. Innovators can design technologies that track and reward grateful behaviors alongside productivity metrics. The challenge, of course, is that it takes more than a one-time declaration. It requires a sustained commitment to introspection, mutual respect, and long-term thinking. We must hold ourselves and each other accountable for integrating gratitude into our daily routines. Whether you're an investor reviewing pitches or a project manager orchestrating a complex rollout, ask, are we setting ourselves up for a balance between striving and savoring? I know that many of you here are already thinking about how to weave this perspective into your own ecosystems. You might be considering a new framework for performance reviews. If you're inspired to start a personal gratitude journal that complements your ambition tracker, I want to encourage you to solidify those aspirations. Don't let the spark of this conversation fade without fueling a practical plan. Reach out to peers, form accountability circles, or engage professional support if needed. Make gratitude a shared endeavor. Watch how it shifts team dynamics, fosters genuine innovation, makes climb toward lofty goals feel both exhilarating and sustainable. As you move forward, remember you aren't alone in this pursuit. I stand here willing to support the continued growth of communities that value both bold visions and appreciation for every step along the way. Whenever asked how we manage to keep pushing boundaries in fields like space travel, artificial intelligence, or electric transportation, I say it's not just about the big leaps. It's about the incremental improvements, the unsung heroes who refine each design, and the culture that encourages daring leaps alongside a reverence for every improvement, no matter how small. This brings us to a moment of reflection, a place where we consolidate the energy and ideas we've shared. The future I see is one where more and more innovators recognize that true success is about more than numbers on a balance sheet or a breathtaking IPO. It's about the collective betterment of society, the well-being of teams, and the pursuit of audacious goals wrapped in a spirit of gratitude. If you choose to join that future, you'll find that each achievement is sweeter and each setback more bearable because you're carrying the fuel of thankfulness along with your ambition. Now, as we close this conversation, let's challenge ourselves. In the next few weeks, commit to a tangible experiment. Identify one project or goal that's especially important to you. Then integrate a structured gratitude practice around it. Something as simple as writing weekly thank you notes or publicly acknowledging contributions in team meetings. Track how it affects not just your external results, but how you feel, how your relationships evolve, and how your sense of possibility expands. You might find that it nourishes your drive rather than diminishes it. Doors to collaboration and innovation, ways you didn't anticipate. Even if you face adversity along the way, you'll discover the unshakable anchor that gratitude can provide in a fast-paced, ever-changing world. As you undertake this challenge, know that I and many others stand with you. We live in remarkable times where each one of us can become a catalyst for positive change, forging new solutions in technology, sustainable energy, medicine, education, and beyond. But we need each other's support to stay balanced, aligned to our greatest hopes while rooted in an abiding sense of thanks for what we have and who we are becoming. In my own journey, I've seen how pivotal that balance is. Without contentment, ambition can turn hollow, draining us of the very joy that fuels creativity. Without ambition, contentment can stagnate, leaving our potential unrealized. The magic, however, lies in unifying these two forces, letting them feed each other to create a world that benefits from our boldest dreams while remembering to cherish each step of the climb. As we meet whatever comes next, I offer my unwavering support for all who seek to cultivate this powerful blend of aspiration and gratitude. Whether you're launching a project that could redefine entire industries, championing a cause that could transform communities, you don't have to sacrifice your well-being or your appreciation for the people around you. We can grow, learn, and achieve together forging paths that resonate with both ambition and empathy. It's in that synergy that our best work emerges. I'd like to leave you with one final thought that might capture the spirit of everything we discussed. You picture the future you want to create, you're likely imagining a place of prosperity and flourishing connections. That future calls for your drive, your courage, and your unyielding dedication to progress. It also calls for your heart, your humility, and your capacity to appreciate the moments that enrich your journey. Dare to dream big, push boundaries, disrupt norms, and leap beyond limitations. But take a breath, look around, acknowledge how far you've come and who has come with you. In that moment, you may find a serene power, the kind of power that doesn't just chase the horizon, but also treasures the dawn of each day. Thank you for joining me in exploring how to hold these two sometimes contradictory forces in harmony. I hope you will continue to embrace your ambition without forsaking your gratitude. Lies the path to accomplishments that truly resonate, leaving a meaningful legacy for all. Let us unite our most audacious visions with a deep sense of thanks. And in doing so, shape not only the innovations of tomorrow, but also a world in which success and fulfillment walk hand in hand.